Hi, Luke. Welcome. Thanks for joining me today. Can you please introduce yourself and Passport?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Dominica. My name is Luke Seegers, and I am a director on our product team at Passport, which means my role is basically to make sure we're building things that matter to our clients, who are cities and universities. Passport, more broadly, exists to help cities make their communities more livable and equitable. So we build solutions to help them manage mobility, parking enforcement, digital permitting, and micromobility are our offerings today. And then we have a number of things that I'm excited to talk with you about that we're doing currently to help make those products even more powerful in the context of what cities are trying to do and what they're dealing with today, which is a lot of change.
Right. So can you tell me a little bit about your main solutions?
Absolutely. So we have about 1,000 clients across cities and universities. We have 4 solutions for the most part. The first is our mobile pay parking solution, which started off as being parking apps, more or less, and back office management tools. Has evolved quite a bit in recent years, and I'll get more into that in a little while. We have a cloud-based enforcement offering, as well as a digital permitting solution. And then we have our newest product is our micromobility offering, which is our first foray into helping cities manage fleets of vehicles. And across all these things, so those are our 4 core offerings. Across all these things, we have unified back office tools. We have a bunch of integrations that are kind of off the shelf, more or less, that we consider more or less to make up we call it Passport operating system, but more or less something, some software that works seamlessly together and works seamlessly with other tools that cities use to manage mobility.
All right. And how about your current projects? Can you tell me a little bit about it and what's your main focus right now?
I can. I'll try and keep it brief. So we last fall launched a pretty major expansion to our parking product, which, as I mentioned a second ago, has historically been focused on parking apps, more or less. Last fall, we launched a partnership with Google and have several others on the way to embed parking payments in other applications. And more or less, what we're enabling for every client who has our parking product is to keep our app. Our apps will keep doing what they've done. We're continuing to support all of our apps, but we've been stepping back and talking with a bunch of cities and saying, why just use one app? Why not make anything be a parking app, more or less? If someone's navigating downtown, maybe they could just hit a pay to park button right there in Google Maps or Apple Maps or something like that. If they're driving their car and put it in park, maybe there should just be a little pay to park button right there in their car. Or maybe they're a user who has special mobility needs, like being in a wheelchair. Maybe they have special applications that they're using as well. And we have some partners in this domain where we can provide a better experience to users who may have needs that are different than the majority one way or another. So we're breaking out of this in the parking domain, out of this idea that there should be one app or even 2 apps. Why not have everything more or less be a parking app if it's something that people are using to navigate around the city? And critically, it can't be more complex for cities when we do this. So it was really exciting. We spent a lot of time getting the Google launch out and the technology behind that. What's been really cool is that as we've rolled it out to 100 different cities, there's effectively no change for cities in terms of like what enforcement officers have to do, what the finance team has to do, like what all the operations within the city. More or less, it's just like you still have the same app that you're used to, but now there are 2. And we're set up to add 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th and 7th from a technology perspective and from a partnerships perspective, so that cities can offer options to their users without adding a whole bunch of complexity for themselves. And we see that general pattern as being something that's going to be really important for the future as all this change is coming. It allows for a lot of flexibility that was previously kind of hard to do.
Okay, it's very interesting. And how about the future then? What are your plans?
Yeah, so in the very near future, on the project I was just talking about, we have several other integrations, some in-dash, in-car systems coming out, or parking payments in dash systems, I should say. We have some apps for folks who have special mobility needs. and parking reservations apps we're working with to help embed payments everywhere we can with no added complexity for cities. So I'm really excited about that one. More generally, things are changing faster than they ever have for cities. So we're focused a lot on building a really strong core, giving cities incredible tools for all the products that I mentioned before, and then kind of making it as easy to plug things into those tools as possible. Right. So this year, we're going to be launching, for many of our clients, a brand new back office, new and improved back office that provides a whole bunch of new reporting tools and management tools and whatnot. And importantly, lays the foundation for a bunch of new partnerships that we're bringing in. So helping cities do more with data, for example, or better understand congestion, or work with providers who may offer services that Passport doesn't offer with data that's stored in Passport's system. So more or less, the more we can do to help cities kind of live and breathe as though it's one big system instead of having a bunch of different silos, that's work that we want to be doing. And then lastly, we're trying to help cities take some of the things that have worked really well in the past, like charging for parking, and apply that to some new modalities that are becoming increasingly important. So micromobility, I mentioned, is one of our newest offerings. What we're doing there, very briefly, is helping cities apply parking rules to micromobility fleets as a form of policy to help drive outcomes that they care about. So we're looking at what we can be doing in micromobility to help. We're looking at what we can be doing with commercial fleets. We're looking at what we can be doing with some of these systems that are creating congestion and out on the streets and have historically been very difficult to manage and work with, and see if we can apply some of the tools that are already familiar to cities in ways that are just a little bit different, but still familiar. Different from a technology perspective, but very similar from a policy perspective, and take what's worked well and just do a better job at that. And I would say that's generally where we're trying to head. And there's a lot of opportunities that I think we'll be announcing in the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting. Okay, Luke, thank you so much for talking to me today, and I wish you all the best.
Likewise. Thank you for your time.